And here we are. Well, it is October 24th,
Or
4th already. With our beautiful trees changing
Mhm.
in Minnesota. And we have a small but mighty group today. Um, and I'm Susan Walker, formerly from the University of Minnesota, and now floating amongst the beautiful scenes of nature in Minnesota. Um, this is our Perfect Connections meeting, and we are about 12:20 because we had a nice conversation before we started recording. That was the preference of one of our members today. So I will turn it over to Sarah.
I'm Sarah Alcock. I am a parent educator with Burnsville Egan Savage District, south of the cities. I have been there for, this is my fourth year. So,
Is there anything you'd like to talk about today, Sarah?
oh, not in particular.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, I'm Becca, and I am a parent educator in Oakdale, Maplewood, North St. Paul, District 622, here in the Twin Cities. And this is the beginning of, I guess we're more than the beginning now, but this is my 7th year here. And I guess that's it. I don't really have something super specific that I wanted to talk about, but I love talking about whatever comes up for other
Mhm.
people. Ellen, you're back. Can you do an intro?
Yeah, I'll do an intro before I get back in the car and head home. Ellen Hafner, parent educator in Northfield, and I don't think I have anything today. Just kind of want to be with my peeps
Yeah.
and see what you guys have got going on. It was we had MEA off last week, so it's like I love that time off, but then I have to be like, oh my gosh, my brain was off, and now I have to turn my brain back on, and it's almost not worth it, frankly. So, and then we have off again in the district next Friday and the following Monday because it's the end of the quarter for us. So it's like
Mhm.
our Friday class, we have class, we don't have class, we have class, we don't. It's just
Yeah.
really, it's really hard to keep my brain wrapped around who did what in my schedule and whatever. So anyway, I have nothing to ask, so I'm gonna go mobile now.
Ellen,
Okay.
wait, before you go,
What?
with all of those changes, that's curious to me. If I was a parent in your classes, like, how is that for parents to kind of keep up with?
Oh, I think they're annoyed by it, but I'm really good about saying, hey, everybody, we have class this day. We don't have class this. I mean, I lay it out for them. I have a Google Calendar. And honestly, like I've had some families who are like, "Oh, I didn't know." Well, guess what? Your kids are going to be in school and you need to pay attention to the calendar. I mean, I'm kind of mean about it, but I'm like, "Well, I sent messages." Like
Hmm.
I and I'm like I don't know what to tell you. You have to pay attention. So, and there are multiple places for you to do that.
Right.
So I can't do everything for you, you know. I'm pretty, and I communicate via Seesaw, so it's in Seesaw. It's there's a link. It's pay attention, and also if you don't use the calendar, well, guess what? It's time. So I'm just tired of being their timekeepers and their calendar
Mhm.
keepers. You know what I mean? Like I can't do that for you. You have to do that for you. I mean, we've had families show up when we don't have class. And I'm like, well, I regarding my email that literally says no class or my Seesaw, no class next week.
Right.
So yeah.
It's kind of, I think of it kind of like mother the mental load of motherhood, that we have to keep track of these things for them. And it's like that's not fair, but you're still finding yourself having to do that because nobody else will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ours is complicated too because ECFE has its own schedule, and then the rest of early childhood with preschool and pre-K has its own schedule,
Mhm.
slightly different than the K-12 schedule.
Hmm.
So like the preschool and pre-K, or maybe it's just the preschool. See, like I don't even know. they have a lot of Fridays off because they call them, I can't remember what they call them, but they do like team building stuff, and they have some classes that are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and some classes that are Tuesday, Thursday. And so they do almost all of their PD and extra meetings and stuff on Fridays. And there's a lot of Fridays where there's no school, at least once a month. And like, I think at one point we were trying to align our calendar with theirs, but like we have a class that only meets on Friday because classes meet once a week. So it's like,
Mhm.
this doesn't work at all. I find myself wishing all the time, why can't we have a PD day on a Wednesday or a Tuesday? Because like Mondays and Fridays, boy, do they get the shaft. Like
Yeah.
they miss so much more than the middle of the week. But yeah, so it's complicated. So I try to do a lot of communicating with families. I print them out a paper calendar at the beginning of the year, that is still posted in the room and available to take another paper copy if you want in the room. And then I send out weekly emails to every single class, and it will have like upcoming no school days as kind of at
Wow.
the top of it. But yeah, beyond communicating as much as you can, like that's as much as I can do, right?
Right.
Do you find
It's
that
complicated.
parents use like, like Google Calendar, for instance, right? That or some other kind of electronic calendar that's easily shared, and that if you update it, it updates anybody who has that calendar, right? That said, I know a lot of people like no one app everyone uses. So, which is a huge challenge, right? That then it's just like, because there was something everybody was using. I mean, like,
Mhm.
I'm
I
not.
tried, I tried this year to have all of my classes do WhatsApp and to connect with each other instead of me printing out a phone list for every class and stuff, thinking it would be less work. And some classes pushed back hard and they were like, yeah, we don't want another app. Um, Others tried to sign up and struggled, like they made, because I basically asked for a parent volunteer in every class to be in charge of setting it up, and please include me as well. And this is a great place for you to connect with each other outside of class time, but also this is one more way that you could let me know if you're going to miss class any week or whatever, or ask a question to the group. But yeah, it's been successful for like 3 of my 8 classes.
Mm.
Maybe 4. One completely was like, nope, we're not doing it. And I was like, okay, fine. It's my smallest class. It's actually my Friday morning class. So I just like, I'll print out a class list for you. That's fine. I insisted on it for my Monday morning class because one of the reasons I wanted to do WhatsApp is that my early childhood teacher was leaning on me very heavily for communication with the families. And it's a 2-day class. On Mondays, it's ECSE, and on Wednesdays, it's drop off preschool. And
Mhm.
so if parents weren't going to be there if their kid wasn't going to be there on Wednesday, they were letting me know. I'm teaching 2 different infant classes on Wednesday.
Mhm.
So like requiring me to then be in contact with our early childhood teacher and make sure, I was just like, I am so tired of being the middleman. Like I don't mind being communicating for our class in general with a once a week thing, but all the in betweens, I was just like, nope. We're doing that was the one class I was like, we're absolutely doing WhatsApp. You have to put this on, and teacher Michelle is in it too. So this is where you say anything that she needs to know for Wednesdays. But yeah, it's hit or miss. Finding one thing that everybody uses is really challenging.
Yeah.
It's not like people don't even all have Gmail or
Right.
Google or whatever. Like people use different stuff.
Right. Does WhatsApp have a calendar feature?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I have not played around with it at all. I'm I'm not as tech savvy as I wish I was. Uh,
Mhm.
and so I tend to do emails and paper stuff primarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat, Becca. I saw what like Ellen and others did, and I was just like jaw hit the floor. I'm like, oh, I I'm not there. I mean,
And some of it seems like in a way it would be less work for me once I got over the learning curve and got
Right.
used to a new thing.
Right.
But like that learning curve time is significant. And I already, like we were talking about earlier before recording, there's already so much unpaid labor time. I don't get paid for any of the admin behind the scenes
Mhm.
work. So adding something that's going to take more time for me to learn and figure out feels like that's not a priority.
Yeah.
Do either one, when I'm thinking about technology and time, now my thoughts are going to, neither one of you teach any classes online, do you? I mean, like, do you, Becca?
Last spring, I did a book club online, a parent ed book club, and that was my first time fully having an online. It was Saturday mornings for an hour,
Uh-huh.
and it was challenging. I didn't realize how much I depend on face to face for communication and group discussion. We're all pretty good at it here on Fridays,
Mhm.
but it's the conversation's much more stilted and people taking turns and it's less natural. So getting a good discussion going was a lot more work than when I am in person.
And you had a video component, like a Zoom link or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you have, I guess what I'm thinking about is technology support for doing that. So does your school district offer that? So let's say in the middle your Zoom link goes bad, or somebody's audio doesn't work, or even building the content piece so that if there's, like, is that all on you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much. Especially since it was a Saturday morning. Like, yeah, no,
Right.
nobody is doing anything. It's just, yeah, it works or it doesn't. Hopefully it works.
Yeah. Interesting. Um, Ultimately, did it go okay? I mean, did parents seem to like it, or?
Yeah, one of the questions. So Anna and I both did it. I thought it was a pretty good setup. We were both doing the same book. We did Good Inside,
Mhm.
and she had the in-person class that met on Wednesday night, and we had a para to kind of do childcare while she did the class with the parents or the book club, the
Yeah.
1 hour meeting to talk about however many chapters. Uh, and then I did the Saturday morning online. So we kind of pre-planned a little bit together. We kind of figured out how we wanted to divide up the book. So which chapters we would do which week. So we were kind of in the same place. And the idea was that like if you had to miss one, you could go to the other or something like that. But because doing online was kind of a stretch and a little bit of a struggle for me. We did have and it was very difficult to get childcare coverage for the Wednesday night class. So there were challenges on both ends. We asked after the fact, when it was over, we asked parents to fill out a little Google form about, would you have done this if there was no childcare? Did you depend on it being online, or would you have come if there was only an in-person, like that, those kind of questions? And basically we got, it had to be online, and yes, we need the childcare. So like, okay, the things that were hard are needed.
So
So
they
I
needed childcare even if it was online, or childcare if it was in person?
childcare if it was in person. So like Anna and I had the same questionnaire for both groups. And yeah, if you were in person, did you need the childcare? If you were online, did you need it to be online? And the answers were yep. So,
Interesting.
and
Well,
I think we're hoping to do it again this year, but I'm not sure how timing will work out and the whole what's required for planning and all of that ahead of time gets
if
a
you
lot.
did it again, would you do the same book with a different group, or would you find a different book?
My thought was find a different book. There's so many good books out there, and I think a number of the people who did the Good Inside Book Club would want to do book club again, so it would be a fresh
Yeah.
book. But I also have had a couple of parents be like, oh, it didn't work with my schedule last year, but I would love to, Good Inside has been on my to read list. So I'm not completely sure if it would be like maybe we'll do it every other year, like what book we do, or because like Good Inside was a really good one. I would love to do it again. But yeah, that's the kind of planning, even what book we would do that we have not done yet. And Anna is very pregnant and will be on maternity leave. And so I think if I do it, it would just be on me. And I'll have a student teacher. So who knows? Who knows what I'll be doing this spring?
Well, Becca, my mind was blown when you said that this is your 7th year. It's
I know,
just,
isn't that crazy?
It is
It feels
crazy.
like maybe
I feel-
third, maybe.
I'm watching my children grow. It's just like 7 years. And Sarah's been there how long? Yeah.
Well, I've been at Burnsville for 4 years, but I did Robbinsdale, and
Yeah.
then I was off during the worst of the pandemic.
Yeah,
So
because we had classes together, Sarah. I don't know if we were
yeah, we
exactly
did. Yeah, we
before,
did.
but I know we had classes together.
Yeah,
Yeah, it goes fast.
it does.
Ellen's nodding. We've got kids who are growing super fast.
I know.
Got a 17-year-old now. It's like, what? Stop it.
Ellen, how long have you been at Northfield? Unmute.
There we go. This is my 9th year.
It's
I think
gotta
it's
be
my
more than that.
well, I was 4 years in Faribault
That's right.
Okay.
and
Okay.
9 years here.
Okay.
So I think this is my 9th year. I started in Northfield in 2016. So yeah, this is my 9th year.
Wow.
So next year will be my 10th. Yep.
You gonna celebrate?
I don't think so. Oh, look, I'm old. And I was going to say, when I was trying to unmute, my daughter turned 20. Nothing makes you feel older than, oh, calm down. Nothing makes you feel older than when your oldest kid drops out of their
Yeah.
teens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you calm down.
My mother, I'm the oldest of two, when I turned 16, my mother used to say that I was John's daughter by his first marriage, omitting the fact that she was his first wife. But
Not
my
dying technically, right?
yes, exactly. But
Calm down.
I think most of you know I don't have my own kids. I have 2 stepsons and 4 godchildren, but the youngest godchildren are now 21. And I'm like, no, 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 you were just born. You were babies at my wedding.
I actually outed myself to my class this morning. It's one of my smaller classes, and because we were doing the 3 list lesson, and one of the questions is like, how long do you have? What do you think is the timeline you have to get to these goals you have for your kids when they're adults? And I say, in reflection, looking at the list that we made together of what our hopes and dreams are for our adult children, how many of them do you have now? Like, do you have all of these things yourself? And I'm able to be like, I am 53 years old and nope, everything on the list yet. And oh my gosh, the jaws that fell with like, you're 53. I was like, oh, thank you. They thought I was in my 40s. But when a couple parents start realizing that I'm old enough to be their mother, it's like, yep, I have entered grandma age.
Right.
I have teenagers, but I am definitely grandma age.
Well, I turned 60 in June, and I think that's why they put me with the grandparents class this year, because you're old enough to be a grandparent.
I don't know. I love it. Anna's teaching our grandparents class, and
Okay.
she's pregnant with her first. She's
Yeah.
much younger than me.
Yeah.
But it was her passion, and
Yeah.
I'm doing the LGBTQ class because that was what I really cared about. So I kind of like doing it that way rather than kind of shoehorning people into where they think
Right. Yeah. Oh, don't get me wrong. I love this grandparents class. They're an awesome group. My one challenge is that I've got 3 moms, not grandparents in that class, who wanted, two of whom I've had in classes before, and they wanted to be in one of my classes again. And I'm like,
And that was
you're
it.
not a grandma. And we have a wait list for that class for the next quarter, and I'm going to have to tell them
You can't.
you can't
You
be in
can't
this
take the
class
spot of a
because
grandparent.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Is
Yeah.
there another class for them to be in, Sarah?
Yes, there are, and that's the thing. They're in another class, and they're in that other class on Wednesdays together. So it's not like we're kicking them out completely.
Yeah.
It's just I need to
Yeah.
break it to them that I'm not going to be able to teach them next quarter.
Well,
So
what a wonderful compliment to you.
yeah,
You, being in your presence must provide a real sense of support in many, many different ways for these moms that they would want to follow you to
yeah.
another. So,
And I take it as a special and a particular honor because these three, well, two of these moms, the ones I've had in class before, all three of them are Somali. And
yeah.
I was really unsure about how I was going to pose some of the questions, some of the situations, and the fact that they wanted to still be with me. I was like, win.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. So Ellen, as an experienced student teacher, student teacher, whatever, what are you called when you oversee a student teacher?
Host.
We are CPEs, cooperating parent educators.
Reading teachers, that's right.
Yeah, CPEs.
Do you have any tips for Becca? We know she'll be
Oh, go ahead. So Becca, this is going to be a very different experience for me because my last student teacher had parent ed experience. She had been doing it in her district on a variance, and was already working at it. So she had some experience. My new one this year has a little bit of experience. She's in a teeny tiny district. And so I think she's done like I observed her last fall and she was doing one class a week. I don't know how, I think that might have been her only class. I'm not sure. So it's a little different, right? When you have someone coming in with some experience versus not as much experience. So it's going to be kind of different for me. It's going to feel more like he's a baby parent educator.
I'm pretty sure that mine has zero experience. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
Straight from like she's in the program, but
Yep.
she doesn't have a class or anything.
I would say have her observe as much as possible to start. And I know they have to do a lot of observation prior to. So if you can get her, whether she's observing the classes she's going to take on for you, or if you whatever, she just needs to see you in action a lot. And if
I just
Yeah.
said yes like yesterday, so I have
okay, got
pretty
it.
much no information.
You don't know
except-
anything.
except
Yeah.
I know her name and that she doesn't have any experience.
Okay. The other thing too is if you have a someone who did ECFE with their own kid, they're also going to come in with some prior knowledge.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't know anything about it, then yeah.
No.
So observe, like a ton.
I wrote it
Yeah.
down.
I wish that they had a requirement for more observation when I went through the program because I did not go through ECFE as a parent.
Mhm.
It was new to
It was
me.
all
You know,
new.
it was using stuff that I'd done, but I had not actually been a parent educator in ECFE. And so I wish I had had more chances before I started student teaching.
Yeah, I think it's really important. And if she can I just made an assumption, didn't I?
Right.
She is a she.
You might have said she. If she, I mean, even if you can get her into other programs, you know what I mean? Get her around the
I
neighborhood.
found it so helpful when I was
Mhm.
pre-student teaching, but in the
Yep.
program to observe I think I almost exclusively observed in St. Paul, but different parent ed, different
Mhm.
programs, at different buildings.
Mm.
Yeah,
Um, at
I
the
would
very
reach.
least, I can hopefully have her observe Anna, who's my other one here. But
Yes, easy. So yeah, try to get her in with as many people as possible. I think that's
everybody's got
huge.
to, there's not one right way to do this.
No,
Mhm.
There's not one right way to parent. So I want her to
Mhm.
be able to see more than just my quirks.
right. I'm here. I'm still here. I'm just gonna make myself some lunch. I'm starving. So I'm gonna mute myself while I make a mess.
Okay.
Well, I know. And then the other thing I would say too, Becca, I guess I'll wait for food. I would say, um, the, the co-teaching piece. So Crystal and I, because she had some experience, we did some, like, she did the introduction and I, went into the meat and potatoes, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? But it was very interesting because she did her introductions very different from me.
Mm,
It was a little bit more formal, a little bit more like I'm a student and this is what we do. And for me,
Mhm.
I'm like, what's going on, y'all? Like I don't really do openers.
yeah.
So it was interesting because I was like, oh, that's an interesting way, so it was fun. But some of those co-teaching pieces, and I would say if she's never done this before ever, I would give her some of your lesson plans and kind of show her like how you go about this. And then if you can try to teach a lesson together, like you ask these questions and I'll ask these questions, and then you prepare, this little piece. And I don't know. Yeah, starting from scratch, I know for these students who have nothing.
I can't even imagine because at least I had a lot of years of being a parent in ECFE. So
Mhm.
like, yeah, the
Yeah,
teaching part was all brand new, but the like how it works, what it feels like, what the vibe is,
yeah,
all of that, I was very, very used to.
right. Yeah, and I have the benefit that my student teacher has been a preschool teacher for like 20 years.
Oh.
But to switch that knowledge over from, you know what I mean? That's
Parenting is
Right.
a little different. Yeah.
Right. It's
yeah.
pedagogy versus andragogy and
Hmm. Hmm.
completely far apart.
Hmm. Yeah.
Curious.
So I don't know. Are we supposed to help? I, we don't give them lesson plan. They have to write their own lesson plans, right?
So like when I was student teaching, I got from my cooperating teacher uh,
Resources.
a little bit of resources. I got
Okay.
more of just like a syllabus outline. Like this is what I was the topics that I was planning to do. And
Mhm.
then if I had questions of like how would you approach this or what would your lesson look like? I got like highlights, but she wasn't really a big lesson planner. She was a very experienced teacher, been doing it a very long time, and she tended to teach kind of outline style. Like her lessons wouldn't have a lot in them because she just kind of knew what to do. Whereas, especially when I was student teaching, I pretty much wrote out every possible thing I might say.
Same.
Yeah.
It was like
Same.
every lesson was like 4 pages long or whatever. Um, I am now down to like less and I focus more on slides. Um, so yeah,
Mhm.
we'll kind of
Hi,
see.
Maud.
But I don't know what this teacher, what her comfort level will be, or what her background is. She may already be a teacher, but a different kind of teacher, or she might be 23 or something, and just starting out. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Is there, so I never participated in the student teaching process, so I'm when I was at the U, so I'm curious how much, so Becca, you don't know anything about this person. Will you?
Not yet, but I literally just said yes yesterday.
No, I know, I know.
So yeah,
Yeah, so I'm just curious about the process of meeting. Like, when do you meet for the first time? Do you have a phone conversation or a Zoom meeting ahead of time to get, well, that's right. This is your first student teacher.
I've never done it. I'm hoping we meet in person and she can see the space before she's part of any class, and
Yeah, you'll have to have a one-on-one meeting and have her come to a tour and all that stuff.
yeah.
Um, my student teacher was my mentee last year. And I
Hmm.
also knew her from years and years ago in Faribault. So I've known her for a really long time, but we just haven't worked together. Yeah.
And I know Anna, the fall before Maggie asked me to be her student teacher, Anna observed me, which is why she knew who I was and wanted to do her student teaching with me. So like she had been to 2 or 3 of my classes before. So I'm hoping that this person maybe as soon as we get set up could maybe just do an observation or two um, in the fall, like before her student teaching, and then feel a little more familiar. But I don't know. I'm
Mhm.
assuming in the next week or so I'll probably get some more information.
Mhm.
Hopefully, a guide of some kind of like what is my the expectations of a cooperating teacher.
Mhm.
So yeah, we'll find out. That was
Yep.
my kind of exciting but a little bit nerve wracking because it's new thing.
Yeah, there's a little bit of guidance. I think that with the U, they'll give you a whole like list of things that they're required to do, that you're required to do, and then like benchmarks and things. My teacher is going to come and start observing already. So she's going to do my 2 evening classes, which is great because she's going to get a baby class and a mixed age class. And so she's done with she's got some stuff going on, but like I think the week of the 6th or the 13th, she's gonna come and observe for our last 5 weeks or so. She'll come and observe, kind of get to know the families, stuff like that, because she works full time. That's the other problem too.
Well, it sounds
Um,
like the student teaching from the little bit that I was given of information was just like it's going to be for a whole semester, but just 2 classes. So
yeah, 2 classes, and she's gonna do. So we have sessions. So we have winter session and spring session.
same with us.
And like when I was in the car, Becca, you were talking about how those Monday and Friday classes really get hit. For a while, I was like, oh my God, there's so many Monday classes. I thought maybe she would want to do Monday because I have toddlers and birth to 5 and preschool all in one day. And I was like, okay, if she wants to hit 3 classes in one day, that would be a great
That's my
option. But then I was like,
Thursday.
but she would miss so many Mondays. And I was like, they need 100 hours. They need 50 direct hours and with families and 50 indirect. And I think the direct hours are with contact with us as well. I think that counts. And indirect, I think, is observing. It's all lay it out for you. So
Yep. So I'll learn more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I will be interested to hear how this goes, Becca and Ellen.
Well, I'm hoping to start joining in more of these Friday Zooms, and I'm kind of hoping Anna might too, as a way of connecting. And I think my plan will just be to get my stuff done as fast as I can, so that I'm done by noon, and I'll have to do it from work because
Yeah.
I don't have time to finish all my stuff and get home, and by then it's almost 1 o'clock. So yeah.
Becca, that's the way I was for the last 3 years. So
Yep.
the fact that we've got new teachers and somebody was able to take the later class, it was like, oh, I can do perfect connections again.
Ellen, is that traditional that students would do observations for several weeks before their own semester?
yeah, I think I remember that for me. I mean, I had to observe my cooperating parent educator. I know that was a piece of it when I was in the program. And when I had my last student teacher, Crystal observed me quite a bit before. And she already had observed me. Like she had already come over and watched because she was starting a newborn class. She got a newborn class started from scratch in New Prague, which is awesome. Because she modeled it after Northfield's and Faribault's newborn program. So she came a couple times to watch that. So she had already come over a few times. And so I knew her that way. And then my current student teacher, she came and observed me last year at least one time because of the mentor program. It was a requirement that they come and observe their cooperating or their mentor. So, but no, when Crystal started, it was she had to do some observing. She had a shortened she only was only with me for one session because she was also doing the same thing in New Prague. So she didn't have to be with me very long because she was duplicating.
I feel like when I was a student teacher, we had to do a few observations, but they didn't have to be of our cooperating teacher that we would be student teaching with for different classes or different things beforehand. But only a handful, not something that was continual for several weeks or anything. And then just the beginning of student teaching was like participating but observing. So there was observation kind of built in before then teaching kind of together and then me taking over. I think that's a normal way of doing student
Progression.
teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was getting my license to be a elementary school teacher, it was very similar.
Yeah. I think there is quite a bit of variability in the individual students too with their I mean, Becca, you were, I think, on one end of the spectrum of being a former parent in ECFE, and you had a lot of experience, right?
Yeah.
On the like parent advisory councils too, and on the city. So there was just like, here's the professional ECFE parent. There are others that, they feel a calling to work with families or whatever, but they have never, they don't even, or maybe they've moved in from out of state, they're not that familiar with the ECFE. So yeah, such a range. Yeah.
I'm going to have to sign off because I have a home visit in 3 minutes or so. So it was lovely to see everybody. I hope
to see you too.
Thanks. I hope you're back.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Well, let me just quickly, let's see. Anything else? We have a couple minutes before we wrap up here. Any announcements or questions, things for us to think about for next week? You both had good MEA weekends?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
I am going to close this, but Ellen, I have a quick question for you. What?
As I'm stuffing my face with lettuce.
No, that's fine. I was just gonna, wait a minute. I wanted to, Sarah, she didn't need to leave. I was just gonna
stop the recording.